Welcome to Flash Tutorial Halloween Scene Part 5. It's a follow-up to Part 4, which I have opened on my computer now. I just want to get you to open up the Bat Completed movie clip for a minute. And at the very end, for example, at the very end, I'm going to make my stage light color again so I can show you something. When we moved the crypt, and we gave it a new size. This layer here, this crypt puzzle layer, and we did that probably when we were on frame 1. If this is a keyframe and you clicked on it, this may not be the same thing. This may be up here, it may be smaller. So if it's not the same as what's here, click on this till you get that fuzzy square and just drag it into there, and that'll straighten that out. Okay, let's go back to scene 1 and make sure all the layers are locked. Select this Bat Completed layer. Insert 1, 2, 3 frames. Select the fifth frame of all those. Right click, insert keyframe or blank keyframe, and you can at this point in time remove those, and give those the name fence pattern, fence pat, fence pieces, and fence target. So we're going to go through them one at a time. Right now you have nothing in them. I just put something in to explain. So make sure that all layers are locked except this fence pattern. And up in the sky somewhere, you're going to draw a pattern of a fence. So what I did was I actually made a layer, drew this on this layer like you see it here, just using the straight line tool and the white color, and I drew this crazy fence. Then what I did was I put another layer above it, this fence pieces. I copied this white fence from this layer here, locked this layer, opened this pieces layer, pasted it in place, and then I chopped it up for my puzzle pieces. So that's the only thing on this layer called pattern. And if I click on it and open the properties panel, I made it a movie clip, fence pat _ MC, and I'm going to give it the same instance name, fence pat PATT _ MC. Then I will look at the next layer up, and here are 3 pieces. You only see 2, so I'll unlock the layer pieces, and there's the one there. So I broke this fence into 3 pieces. The first one here is called, again, I made this into a movie clip, and it's called fence 1 _ MC with the same instance name. We'll talk about that being invisible in a minute. There's this piece here, which I called fence 2 _ MC, both its movie clip name and its instance name. And there's this other one here that was fence number 3. Now, fence 2 and fence 3, if I click on either of them and go inside the movie clip, that's all it's there. Just the one frame, one layer, and that's all it's there. But the fence 1, there's going to be more to that. Okay, if I double click on it, just like the other one, this fence 1, I want it to take some time coming in. So I'm made it so it's not visible for a while, and then it becomes visible. And I've done that because it's a movie clip. I was able to here make the alpha 0 and here make the alpha 100, put in a tween, and I believe this is a stop on the action script layer. So I have a fence layer and action script layer. I think you have that. So that takes care of the fence pieces. And then the targets. I'm going to hide the pieces and the patterns for a minute. And here's the targets. Just like the other one, there's 3 targets. If I look at this one here, what I did was, again, open my library. I made one movie clip called fence targ underscore MC. It's just a white square, just the same. I did the same thing as I did with the bats. I made one of those as the movie clip, and then each of these 3 targets is an instance of that movie clip. So when I select this number 1, you can see it's fence targ 1 underscore MC. That's what the instance name is. It's an instance of fence tar. This is an instance of fence tar, and it's fence tar 2, and naturally fence tar 3. The next thing we want to do is, as we did with the bats, we have something called bat completed. We need a fence completed. So I'm making all my layers visible, and I'm locking all my layers at the moment. Go up to fence tar, insert a layer, select frame 5, insert keyframe, click here and remove these frames. Go to your, select that open frame 5, and I can highlight nothing. See that? There's nothing I can highlight. Even if I try to select all, there's nothing to select. It's a new layer. Let's call it fence complete, FENCOMP, and select that frame 5. Open the library panel, come down here to new symbol. New symbol is going to be a movie clip, and it's going to be called fence complete, FENCOMP underscore MC, fence complete movie clip. And now we're inside that fence complete movie clip. Let's go back to the library and open the bats complete movie clip. Now there's 3 layers in here that we can keep. Let's right click in here, select all frames, right click, copy frames. So we're copying all the content of this bats complete, because we can use some of these layers. Open up the fence complete movie clip. Even though there's only 1 frame here, right click, paste frames, and all the frames have been pasted. You can keep the sound one here, because eventually we're going to have a sound. You can keep this guide layer named guide, but delete this layer called bats, because we don't want the bats here. And let's, at this point in time, make this a, double click on it, make it a normal layer for now, and it's highlighted for me. If it's not highlighted, highlight it, right click, clear all the frames in it, and this action here is going to stay the same. It's going to be a stop. This action code here is going to be the same. That's to go to the crypt, to start the crypt up. And this last one here is going to be almost all the same, except we're not going to be going to the fence. We're going to be going to the tree, T-R-E-E. Okay. So while you're at it, let's get this out of the way. Copy this word tree. Let's go back to scene 1 for a minute. Here, insert a keyframe or blank keyframe and paste that in for the frame name tree. Good. And while we're at it, let's do the same as we did with the other previous layer. Let's make sure that all the layers are locked. Let's unlock this labels layer, pick up our text tool and put a 6 here so we'll know when we jump into frame 6. Pick up my selection tool, going back to that fence completed movie clip. Okay, the crypt is here. I think we can see that the crypt is here, 25%. There's my crypt. We need to make a guide. We will in a few minutes. And above the crypt, we need to put in the fence, F-E-N-C-E. This is when the fence has been completed. So let's look at these 2 new layers we made. When we get into this movie clip fence complete, we want for the first few frames to see that light, which we just copied and paste. And right here is when the piece 1 or the completed movie clip starts to get some alpha to it. Now we got to turn this off. One of the problems you get when you copy frames like that is it extends them all. So we got to turn this light off right here. So either there or there, insert a keyframe and then select here and go all the way up till you get past it. Right click, remove those frames. Now we'll see how that looks. There's just the crypt. There's the light when all that's been put together. The light should disappear, and that's when actually this should probably be back there. Yeah. And now the fence that we made, the completed fence, starts to get smaller, and that's when you make your guide. And if look right here, that's the bat going down there, and boom. Okay, now again, the crypt didn't open, and I think that's because the other crypt is still on scene 1. Let's go back to scene 1, and as we did with frame 4, let's select frame 5 for a minute and come down to here, right here, click that frame, get the fuzzy squares, drag it out of the way, and let's test it so we can find out what we have to fix. It's only this very first one that we delayed coming in. Door is open like it's supposed to. The bat flies in. And we jump into the next fence. This one here is oh, we got to write the code. And we're going to have some errors. And this is because we're talking about the bat and we don't have it on frame 5. So we got to get rid of that error code, and that's because when we're going into this frame 5 right here, it's still reading the action script here. Even if we have a new action script, it's still working with this bat pieces. So if you find this bat piece layer, and then go to frame 5 and insert a keyframe. Okay, now it puts the bat pieces here, but they've been invisible, so we won't see them. So now let's test this, and that will, we should not get that error code that we just had. We might get another one, but not that one. Now, see, before we got an error code. Now we got to write the code so we can move these around. The easiest way to do that, lock all my layers, open up layer 4, open the actions layer, right click, select all, right click, copy, and then go back to frame 5, insert blank keyframe, open the actions panel, paste, and where you see bat, write fence. And because there's 3 fence pieces, it works out okay. So I'm going to go through here, every place I see bat, I'm writing fence. And the best thing to do is just write, like, do right here, fence once, F-E-N-C-E, then copy the fence and paste it on top of bat. Don't forget to do the interval hit. Make sure that got a fence there, and here and here. Don't forget those, and certainly don't forget your drops and drags. Another one you might miss is this function up here. Okay, I've changed all my bat words to fence, and I'm going to test it. And if I have some errors, be okay, we can do some troubleshooting. Test movie, but I think I got them all. No, I missed something. Scene 1, action script layer, naturally, frame 5, line 53. Scene 1, action, frame 5, line 53. It said duplicate. Right there, I missed this. This one here. Could be more. Let's test it now. You'll have this. You may have the same thing or something different. Whoa, a whole bunch here. Access undefined property. When you get that, that usually means you didn't give them instance names. So I got my 3 targets to do, and they're all on that frame 5. Oh, so they're all on scene 1. Okay. Timeline. Let's start with the complete. Oh yeah, I didn't even bring it in. Let's do the fence complete first. I didn't even bring it onto the stage. So there, bat complete, or fence complete, excuse me. Let's just drag it on. There's the crypt, and I'm just going to put it here, and yeah, let's go. We gotta do this. Back here where this crypt is, click on that and put it back here. I shouldn't have moved that yet. And now we're going to do a close-up and line those 2 crypts up. Once you have them lined up properly, so the only thing that is selected, I believe, is unlocked is this one here. And I'm using my arrow keys, and I'm just going to put it in line there and bring it down there. Now I can go back and get rid of that crypt frame. I should have done that first before. Okay, that takes care of that error. There is one on the targets, so unlock the targets layer. Make this 25%. I thought I named them. I did. Fence tire 2. Maybe I called them something different. Oh, possibly. Yes, FENCE. So let's change them. Let's not go through all this script. Let's go. You may not have done this. You may have caught on. So let's go back here. So it's FENCE. So click there. Open the properties panel. Let's pick them one at a time. So this should be FENCE. This one should be FENCE. And this one, where's the third one at? Right here. You may not have this problem. FENCE. You may have been caught on already. And what was the other one? Oh, let's test it. Test the movie. Access denied. And it is fence complete and fence path. And it's going to be the same thing. So let's straighten that out. Fence complete. There it is. Highlight it. Oh, I didn't even give a name. And that was full fence complete. FENCE COMP_MC. Not just FEN. And path. Lock that layer. There it is. FENCE. Now we should be alright. You gotta like that errors messages. If you didn't have that, man, you would just be looking for days. That looks good so far. Door worked really well. That's the first piece. That's good. No errors now. That's good. That's good. That's good. And jumped into now frame 6. Now my fence didn't quite go into the door. It went in around here. So that's something we're going to have to straighten out. So let's open the fence completed movie clip and we'll see how to straighten that out. And I'm going to make it relatively small. And it's to do with the guide. See where the guide is stopping way up here? Well, that guide's got to stop in the middle of the door. And we know that the crypt is where it's supposed to be. Make sure everything is locked except the guide layer. Okay, what I got to do now is I can see the problem. My guide is up here. So let's start with the guide. You may not have this problem. You may be alright and wondering why I'm bothering, but I have a problem. So I unlock the guide layer. Going to click that end, make sure it's not highlighted, click that end and drag that end into my crypt. Then I got to go up here and click here, drag that into there. Now all I got to do is bring my ladder, bring my fence down to that point. And I might be lucky enough to get away with doing that. Unlock the fence and drag that fence down to there, and if I'm lucky I'll still have tweens. Yes, let's test this. Let's get the full effect. Let's make the properties panel, open it up, make the stage black, and if I go to that frame 6 I'll be happy. Test movie. Looks good. Looks good. I hope yours looks as good, if not better. That went in there nice. Now let's see if the fence goes in there equally nice. That went in perfect. and we're going to frame. That's enough for this tutorial. If you plan on doing the next part, part 6, save this FLA. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn.